Everybody, welcome back to the channel. As you saw in the last video, I took the Kubota and the backhoe and I started digging out some stumps in here so that we can replace that building with a nicer one in here. And I was just out today filling in some of the holes so I can get in here and do some more work. And the new Kubota went down. I noticed up at the front where I used to have the bucket planted doing some digging, I found an oil puddle underneath the front of the engine where it had previously been parked. So I ran it over here in the shade, popped the hood, and found the problem. We'll take a look down under here. I still have my cardboard on the ground. Get the flashlight, the little wrench, and we climb under here. Now, when I got under here, I noticed there was all kinds of oil hanging off of the front axle and the center pivot pin area. Lots of drips from about here all the way to here, and it was a clear fluid, looked like hydraulic. So I traced it up to this black line right here, and where that clamp is on the line, I found that clamp was loose. It looks like that line plumbs up to the cooler right here, so it's just an oil cooler line, nothing high pressure. So I got my little ratchet with 5/16 socket out here, tightened that hose clamp right there, cleaned up my mess, verified the leak was fixed, and as we climb up off the ground again, got the Super UDT2 fluid, made sure I was topped off with my transmission and hydraulic fluid level. So pretty minor problem, I know, but granted this thing is still under warranty. Let's see what we have on the clock so far. I'll get you down there. 11.4 hours. So, like I say, this thing is far from being used and abused, and it's kind of disappointing that with 10-11 hours of runtime, you're having leaks like that. Although minor, but I work in the auto industry, and honestly, we do see things like this from time to time on new vehicles, cars, trucks, and whatnot. So it is something. It does happen. You can't really knock the manufacturers for it, but it kind of brings me to another point I was going to make. It goes back to, if you remember from a couple of videos back when I was putting the backhoe on this thing, I had some fitment problems with the pedal linkage that operates the hydraulic thumb. My problem was, get my flashlight out here, the linkage that goes from the thumb into here and then transfers to the vertical link that goes up to the spool valve was basically in way too far, and it had that vertical link cocked at an angle, and that spool valve wants to go straight up and down. And I double checked the assembly on everything, it all looked right. So what I ended up doing was I milled down the end of this collar that my fingers touching right here. That is the pivot bracket for this thumb. I took about 1/8 of an inch off this end, which allowed that whole linkage to drift out further. It straightened out the vertical rod, and I just put a couple washers in out here to take up any end play I had from taking 1/8 of an inch off there, and it smoothed it all out, and it works fine now. And I did not make a video of me doing that, but I had several people in the comment section wanting updates on what I did, how I did it. Well, sometimes you just need to get things done. I was kind of in a mood that day. I did not feel like videoing all that, and it took me about an hour, had it fitting correctly and had it working just fine. So then I had another couple follow-up comments that are asking, well, did you make the Kubota dealer make it right for you, for your time, for your correcting the fit? No, I didn't, and I'm most likely not going to mention anything about this little repair. It ended up being a very minor thing, but out where I live here, it's not like the Kubota dealer is 10 minutes away. It's 60 some miles one way. So if I would have hauled the tractor down there for that small leak to get it fixed for free, it would have been 60 some miles one way with the trailer towing this. Most likely it would have had to drop the tractor at the dealer, drive back. So now we're up to, we'll just say 130-mile round trip. Takes half a day roughly to do that when you're loading things on trailers and whatnot. They'll have it for however long before they would have tightened that clamp, cleaned the oil up, topped up the fluid level, basically exactly what I just did in the last 10 minutes here. And then I would have gotten a call, and I would have gotten in the truck with the trailer and did another 130-mile round trip, towing this thing back, another half a day worth of time invested in it for something that I got done for free. Granted, I've probably burned a tank of gas, or at least I'd say, we'll just say $50 worth of fuel getting down there and back, so there's that expense. And granted, this Super UDT2 fluid is not cheap. This 2.5 gallon jug was about $54, and I used, it was a couple quarts out of there to top this up for that little leak, but I'm still coming out on the cheaper end of the deal all the way around from just having fixed this myself, having stocked up on all the fluids that this tractor takes from the last time I was at the dealer. And you know, I saved a lot of time, probably a whole day all told, and a lot of money by just doing it for, you know, myself rather than for free. And I'm still coming out on the better end of the deal. That's just kind of the price of living out here. And you know, I'm a mechanic. I have the ability to, at some level, look at and diagnose rather simple, you know, problems on just about anything, whether it's a car, a truck, a tractor, a dozer, what have you. So that brings a certain amount of self-sufficiency into the mix. And when you live out here, you don't really think about not being self-sufficient. If there's a problem with something, your first inclination is just deal with it and fix it if I can. My second inclination is, can I take this back to the dealer and get it done for free at great expense to me because of the distances involved and time and what have you. So anyway, that's kind of my rant for the day. Minor problem fixed, no big deal, no harm, no foul as far as I'm concerned. Now granted, like if a hydraulic pump went out of this, or the engine blew up, or it quit moving altogether, something like that, you bet I'm taking it back to the dealer and we're going to discuss some warranty stuff. But you know, little things like this, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I had it fixed and I'll be back up and running. Heck, it's taken me longer to shoot this video than it did to troubleshoot and repair that little bit of a leak. So basically, I kind of killed two birds with one stone, because I was wanting to address the little foot pedal mod that I had to do anyway and get you guys caught up on that. Hopefully the people that asked about it in the comments section on the prior video are watching this one too, and they got all their questions answered. And I had my little spiel about being self-sufficient, and basically guys, it helps you out all the way around if you can if you have the skill set, the knowledge, the tools, or the aptitude just to try and solve as many of life's little problems as you can on your own without having to take it to someone, hire someone, what have you. It even lends a certain amount of security to your overall situation, just being able to deal. So anyway guys, Kubota fixed. That's my video for today. Hope to see you back again.